Welcome into our season preview for the 2021 men's lacrosse program. I'm here with head coach Dom Marzano and senior midfielder and captain Brendan Pontiere. Thanks for joining me today, guys.
Yeah, no problem, Ray. Thanks, man.
Great to be here.
So first off, for both of you, how does it feel to finally be back and ready to start this season after so much waiting? Dom, we'll go to you first.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a lot of preparation. I mean, it just since it got stopped last year and then getting through the fall and just everything these guys are going with, just everybody, just socially, just in the world right now, period. So for us, it's just been really good just get out there. You know, it was great in the fall. We got an extended fall, which is cool, but it's really about getting out there and playing. We couldn't be happier to just everything everybody's been through to get to this point. We're just fortunate to get out there with each other.
Brendan, how about you?
Yeah, it's been a crazy sort of journey over the past 10, 11 months now. I mean, there was a time last year when we thought, when I was a junior, our season just got canceled, and my senior class and some other guys were thinking that we might never ever play again. So just the fact that we were able to get out here, like Coach said, we had an extended fall. That was great to get some extra time in, and now to be able to we got extended games, so we have 13 games now instead of 9. Just the fact that we can do this right now is really great. And I think the whole team is just appreciating the moment right now.
That's awesome. So from what I can remember, you usually, I know this season's a little different, have a motto or saying that you generally have going into a season. Last season, it was something along the lines of take it one day at a time, I believe. So Dom, what are you working with this year?
So our best motto would be let's just play and do everything we can to get out there. So I guess our team motto is let's do what we can to get out there. But my personal one for these guys too, whether they know it or not, it's always been be thankful. Like the message we've been given to these men since last March is have an attitude of gratitude and making sure that we're thankful that we can go out and do it. Like, you know, everybody's been either quarantined or at home we definitely want to make sure that's at the front of our minds that we're fortunate to get out there and play. Is this still affecting a lot of places in college athletics? We're doing everything we can. So we're thankful to everybody that has got us out here to this point. And that's why I want these guys to display an attitude of gratitude, is that everybody's moving everything for us and doing everything we can to return to play safely. And it's just been great. So we just want to give thanks to everybody.
So Brendan, hearing that, have an attitude of gratitude, what's it like for you as a player to kind of have that rallying points or have that saying to kind of go off of each season?
Well, it's a great starting point for every season. I think there's times in every year where you can sort of get lost in what you're doing. It's so you become a routine. You show up to practice, you do this, you go to lifting, and you just sort of get into this routine and stop thinking about what the actual goal for the season is. So to have a base foundation like that is great. And I think this year just play. It's like that's the best thing we could ask for. Like I just mentioned, is we didn't know if we were ever going to play again. So just getting out there is, I think, the end goal at the end of the day. And when we're out there, it's like, take that time to enjoy it, but also to work hard and get a good season on the road.
Yeah. And a disclaimer there, Ray, with the whole just play. We are fortunate to get out there, but understand when we're out there, I mean, it's practice. It's take no prisoners. The intensity hips up. I hope you don't think it's recess out there. It is definitely not. But we're thankful to play, but we are still up in the intensity when we get out there for sure.
Oh, absolutely. We know you are out there to win. There's no doubt about that. So we'll start moving into our position groups here. We'll start with the face-off. Tyler Faig, he has since graduated, which puts most of the workload now on junior Lake Harris. So what does Lake bring to the table, and how does that change your approach now that he's the main guy?
So with Lake, what was great about Tyler and Lake is that, one, we wore Tyler out. He took probably 17,000 face-offs here. I think his body feels good, but what he did with Lake and to see those two work together is a strategy we'll always take. There was a time where in the 2019 season, our last full season, Tyler and Lake were splitting it. Tyler's the starter. He would just put Lake in at times, just be like, he's quicker here. I do it better here. So those two work together. So I think the benefit of what we saw from Tyler is now Lake is a different face-off player. He's got a few different moves. And we've added, so we're definitely relying on Lake, and he's just been great. Even if he loses, he's playing D better and stuff like that too. So his development's been great. We have a freshman named Mikey Collins who's doing great work. So we're still taking that 2 face-off approach guy. Like they're similar than Tyler and Lake were, but for Mikey and Lake, they are battling. They're quicker getting out of the stance. They're quicker on ground, a little quicker on ground balls. Tyler's a big, strong guy. And now, you got Lake and Mikey, a little dynamic together, and they're going to keep battling and make each other better. So we want to make that same kind of strategy with the 2 face-off guys if we can to make each other better. And that's what we're going at. And we got a couple guys that'll fill in. We got a couple sneak long pulls that might be facing off, but they're not. We're going to save that for later.
Fair enough. We'll keep that in the back pocket. So you've got, moving on, you got some great midfielders, including the guy who's in this interview with us here. You lose the trio of Luke Wyatt, Carter McCormick, and Adam Rieger. That's pretty big. So how are you reloading and keeping that high level of play?
So first of all, those 3 guys and all the seniors that graduated last year have just been exceptional leaders and men, and still continue. They're so mad. Those 3 actually text me, by the way, almost every week about practice. So that's the kind of men they were, and we appreciate everything they did for us. Now, you don't replace a senior class like that. We have all the pieces now. We're formulating what we do best and who's showing. And that's year to year. Like you always just try to, you don't replace guys. You just figure out where your team's best now. So with our midfield, I think what you're going to really see is like the development of Pontiere. We finally found a great place for him to carry the ball. We have a couple of unique areas that midfielders can play in. And now what's been really exciting in this first couple of weeks is that we did lose, 3 senior midfielders. Everybody's out there playing. We see different things from different guys that could work on any day. We have 8 or 9, I think, midfielders right now that are just playing really high level. And we have some guys that are built for downhill running and just straight speed. And then we have some guys that shake, and some guys like Pontiere that can invert and feed and shoot. So I think what you're going to see out of us is a new look in the midfield. And I think it's really exciting that nobody knows really what we're going to come out with except the guys in our locker room right now. But the young guys have been stepping in with speed, and then the older guys come in with their experience, their skill set, and their knowledge. And I think it's been a really cool dynamic. So I'm not going to replace those men, but we definitely have what I like in the midfield is a new way to play with another couple of youth guys, a couple of old guys. I think it's going to be a really fun midfield unit as we develop.
That's great. So Brendan, as a part of that midfield, a captain, a senior, how are you feeling about your position group, and what's it going to be like for you to be able to lead those guys?
I think this group is awesome. And like Coach said, it's a different field from the past 3 years. We have a lot of young guys. We have a lot of, the guys that have really not had that much time in the program, and a lot of us older guys that are really meshing really well together right now. And we're very versatile across the whole field. Like, we do have a lot of really fast guys. We have a lot of guys that can move all over the field. I think that this midfield is very like 3-dimensional. Like we're not stuck in one area. If we get into a game and one part of our game isn't working out, we can easily switch to a different area or attack from a different point, or try the different rotation and mix up guys. I think this year is going to be really exciting for the midfield, especially.
That's great. So Dom, back to you. A huge turning point had to be getting CJ Hughes back for another season. He's anchored your offense for a few years now, and he scores just a boatload of points. So who else are you looking at to be your other offensive threats? I know Talbot Gottwall is also graduated. So who are you looking for?
Right now, so obviously we returned some experience in Jack Sharner. We're asking him to do a lot at X. I think he got our last full season. He was Rookie of the Year, played midfield and X for us, and it's a special position in the offense for us. And you ask, you get yelled at a lot. I'll put it out there too. My bad, Sharner, but whatever. You got to run faster, carry the ball. Ask that person to do a lot, whether it's points or settle offense or tempo or get CJ open or some shooters open. I asked Jack Sharner to do a whole lot. So I feel like the guy playing X for us right now is Sharner. I think he's been great so far. I'm asking, I think he needs to have a pretty good year contribution-wise. Pontiere, you're looking at him. We need him to distribute what we've seen in practice right now. He's had a little piece of his element too. And right now we have got, I'm telling you right now, right, I wish I could give you a better answer. We have guys producing all over the field. Like I said, we graduated like a Talbot. Like we're looking on the offensive end. We lost 4 or 5 players that were key players. So every day is a new guy. I'm like, well, that kid can play now, or that kid can play now. But I know that we're going to ask for these seniors to do it. You're going to see some 2-way midfielders. I think what you'll get out of us this year is the point distribution is going to be pretty much all over the place. And so it's hard for me to nail down who's going to contribute, but we have a lot of guys right now in early practice that I feel that could really, really make a big difference week to week, day to day, game to game.
Well, I don't think that's a problem that a lot of coaches have. So I think that's probably a good thing. Brendan, you get your shots in there, here and there. And for the most part, it looks like you're a facilitator moving into some offenses. It sounds like coach is saying here, walk me through how you've grown or improved in keeping control in the midfield and able to move the ball forward and help the team get into their offense and things like that.
Absolutely. Well, coming in as a freshman, I was an attackman. I was a lifelong attackman. I started a few games freshman year and then basically had to come out due to injury. And after that, coach decided that it was best for me to go to midfield. And at first I was skeptical about it. I really was, because I loved attack, and that was just the position that I knew. But after being able to practice with some of the great upperclassmen we had back when I was younger, and just getting into the role of the offense, I think I've come a long way in terms of how to play the midfield. Now, in terms of going back to the attack routes, I think something we're going to see a lot this year is me playing lower, more down by the goal and behind the net, because that is where I think my most natural dodging and feeding comes from. But I feel like Capital has allowed me to really see the field from every angle. I feel like I used to just be only able to function in one spot. But after being in so many different positions and playing up top, playing down low, I really can just see the field as a full picture and not just from, one angle. So I think there's still a lot of growth to come too. I'm still learning. I need to definitely continue to work on my game and show up at practice and watch film and all this stuff. There's a lot of room for me to grow still. I think this season is going to be a lot of fun in terms of that.
Ray, part of that craziness is probably my fault. If you're a mid, you're an attackman, I don't care, I'll switch you around. So part of his confusion is, because the other day Pontiere, I was like, oh yeah, CJ went out for a second. I was like, oh, Pontiere, go play attack at lefty. So I am confusing, especially the younger guys. I don't know what's happening because I'm just throwing people around. But the way we look at it is offensive players. And you're looking at a guy that's fit into every position for us. And we're asking a lot of guys to kind of play that mold. Like we threw Nathan Mork the other day at an attack out of nowhere. I just was feeling it. You go. and he played great. So there's a couple guys out there that we're just throwing around the field, see what hits and what lands best for us.
And I also think that that's an important thing now too, especially because of COVID. Right. So you never know what week we can have somebody missing or just a position empty. So guys being able to be comfortable in every position possible is really helpful, I think, especially for a year like this.
Absolutely. You never know when you might lose somebody to something. So to have backups in everything always helps. So moving on to our last position group here is the defense. Most of the starting crew is still around, guys like Hunter Nip and Jack Conley. So Dom, how are you feeling about that group?
They're great. I feel really good about that group. Again, it's great to have Hunter Nip. His leadership, his experience down there with us. Nick Ware is coming back. He looks strong as ever. And he's kind of being really aggressive. I mean, he's kind of being really aggressive lately. Out of nowhere, he's just throwing lumber and laying dudes out. I'm like, okay. So like we have those senior leaders, and then we have the juniors. Like, right now we graduate a lot of offense. We're having guys step up. I think defense is a little bit experienced, and we have Hunter Nip, and we have guys like Conley and Dom Rocco and Jaden Kesnowski. We have guys like James Howenstein's been in every practice and just tearing it up. Defensively, Doc Krimmel up top. I mean, there's a lot of guys, and then you have a 5th-year transfer in Ben Hauser, the goalie, coming in. It's been crucial to see his leadership, his voice, his command, and how well he's fitting with the team right away. I think we do a lot of chemistry stuff, so to see a defense and a 5th-year transfer come in and in the setting we're in, like they already know him and all. They managed to get him to dye his hair blonde, so I don't even know how that worked out. But already he's fitting in. So he's we expect good things out of him, and I think our goalie unit's been really impressing. But Ben's leadership is going to help a ton with mixed in with Hunter and Aware. And defense is fun again. It's fun. We have tons of guys that can play the position, and they're big. We got a couple of big dudes floating around out there mixed with some guys that can cover really well. Really excited to see what the defense does this year, because I think they could be a really, really solid unit.
So you kind of already answered my next question. It was going to be specifically just about your goalie situation. So, last year it was kind of up in the air going into the season, kind of changing back and forth as the hot hand goes. So now is it, from what it sounds like, Ben Hauser is your guy, yeah?
So the early season part of it, yeah, Ben's leadership, him saving the ball, and what we've seen from him, yeah, right now he's been the leader of it, and without a doubt. But then we have other guys behind him. We think that Pierce, McInturf, and Furta have been playing exceptional. Like the goalie unit last week, I was all mad at the offense. I look back at tape, I was like, oh, the goalies are just saving the ball a lot. I'm still mad at the offense. We didn't put it past them. But as a head coach, I'm conflicted because our goalies, I thought, shut everybody out. It was not a good day for them. Great day for the goalies. I don't know if anybody else on the field played well, but I remember our goalie unit last week just crushing it. So I also think that there's a healthy competition in it. And those guys know that they're just trying to get better every day. And that's the exciting part. But to have Ben's leadership is only going to help the D. It's only going to help those young guys.
That's great. So finally, Brendan, like we talked about at the beginning, this season has been long awaited and you thought you might never even play again. And I'm sure all of you are ready to go right now. How do you feel about this team as a whole?
I think every year one of the biggest pieces for our team is chemistry and how well we get along with each other. And you think in a year where we can't really hang out or have our normal activities on the weekends or after practice or whatever, that might be an issue. But as far as I can tell this year, like this team is bonded just as well as any other team I've seen in the past 3-4 years. So I think to start out, I think our team chemistry is great. Like we were saying earlier, that we have 8 or 9 guys probably at every position that can play and will share their time. There's no superstar mentality here. There's no selfishness on this team. Everyone gets along really well. And I think we all understand that there's still a lot to prove. We came off of 2019 as the OAC champs, went into the next season, had a bit of a slow start, but then season got cut. So we don't know what that team might have looked like last year. So I think there's still a bit of a target on our back as the defending full season champs. And I think that a lot of the OEC knows that we lost a big senior class and major producers and leaders. So I think that this team really understands the moment that we're in, and I think we're going to produce this year.
That's great. Dom, anything to add?
No, he nailed it. Good job, Pontiere. I love hearing that. I agree with him totally. It's been really fun and exciting. Chemistry is everything for us. And for me too. I mean, it's my life. It's their guys' life. It's all of ours. So getting on the field and getting along is really important to us. And I don't know. He's right. I don't know how they've done it and gotten along, but the inside jokes are flying. I don't know what they're talking about still. Never will. I don't know what any of these guys are ever speaking about. But they've passed off nicknames. The alumni will like that. All the nicknames have been passed off. The rules and the laws of the locker room, because we're not allowed to have one, they're still being translated at practice. So I think that the upperclassmen, freshmen, whatever they're doing, I think they're managing themselves great to stay along and get together in this setting. But we're, like you said, we're fortunate, and I think they see that too. But I think between chemistry, some of our youth, and some of our excitement to see who does what out there is gonna drive this season.
Well, that's great. We're all just as excited as you are to see you guys get ready to play. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what the old guys, the young guys, everybody can do this year. So thank you guys for sitting down with me for a few minutes today. And we look forward to opening day on February 27th at Wilmington. Good luck, guys.
Thanks, Ray. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.